And we are live. We are live.
Are we now?
We are live. Oh, interesting. Hangouts on Air is going away on August 1st. For quick streaming, go to youtube.com/webcam. We'll have to make note of that next time.
So show up like 10 minutes earlier next time, I guess.
Yeah, that would be helpful. All right. So welcome to the June iFanboy Patrons Hangout. Why am I doing this? You should be doing this.
I don't ever do it. You still know how to do it better than I do, probably.
Welcome, Adeli Saeed, to your first patron hangout. Thank you for being a patron. We appreciate it.
What's up?
So you just got Josh and me tonight. Connor had a unforeseen thing come up, and so he's not going to be able to join us. All is okay. Don't worry about him, though. He's fine.
I mean, you can worry about him in more of a generalized sense.
Yeah, I mean, I worry about him just in general.
I'm worried right now.
Yeah. So, all right. So you got me and Josh for the next hour. We have, hey, Jimmy, we have a fun-filled hour planned ahead for you. Josh has a whole agenda. So Josh is driving the bus this week. It's this month. So, it's going to be great.
Now, what Ron's good at is selling something that is less than and making it seem like it is more than, whereas that is the opposite of my special talent, which is taking anything and just grinding down your expectations of it so that at the end you're like, well, that wasn't so bad. Yeah. That's my move.
All right.
So after we lost Connor at sort of the last minute, I sent Ron an ad hoc list.
Johnny on the spot, in fact.
A bunch of things. So we were trying to figure out what we could start with. And what I'm going to say before we get into this, how are the feelings of coming up with some kind of honorary doctoral for the GDAT, such as they would do? Is there a way to wedge David Tennant in? Is my question.
You see, now you brought this up. I didn't say anything in the ad hoc text message where we were planning this evening. Hey, way to go, Mark. Awesome. Mark is also wearing a Silent Majority t-shirt, which is great.
Well, hey.
So, by the way,
they're making some noise.
Today we were out, we were outside and in Queens, and somebody ran by and went, "Hey, nice shirt, Silent Majority." It's like, yep, it is a nice shirt. Anyway, so you floated some sort of GDAT honorarium for David Tennant, who you know how much I appreciate and adore David Tennant.
He's delightful.
There's a key letter in the GDAT that is tripping us up, though.
Yeah.
And that's A.
It's not T. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
It's A, yeah. And so it has been floated to me in the past. I don't know if it has to you, Josh, to do some sort of GDBT.
Well, the problem right there is that we can't speak for them.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, we can't speak for them.
Exactly. But it is not our responsibility to come up with the goddamn British treasures. It's the British the British version of iFanboy needs the UK office needs to do that.
It's exactly the same. It just has a comma after I.
So we cannot
actually. It has a comma and then a dash and then a comma. Fanboy. It's like that.
So if we were to open the books up to non-Americans, it would just be a floodgate. I mean, it would be. Listen, it would be flooded.
I couldn't even have this conversation if Connor was here. We wouldn't even had it.
Yeah, you realized that, and you saw the window of opportunity with Connor not being here, and you went for it, and you got Moxie, and I may not like you, but God damn it, I respect you.
I just wanted to talk about it, and I just wanted people to know that if there was a way, David Tennant's just over there like, what about me? And I'm like, I'm really sorry, it's a technicality. Yeah. You can't help where you were born. I can't either, but just know that we love you, David.
So Daniel Richardson in the chat room said it would be Oi Fanboy, but it spelled it O-Y Fanboy. And I corrected him, and it would be Oi Fanboy, O-I Fanboy, if that was the British, because O-Y Fanboy is the Jewish version, is the Oi, that would be, Oi Fanboy.
That would be my in-laws. Oi Fanboy. And that would really be only one particular class of British iFanboy.
Yeah,
iFanboy would be that's more upper crust.
You lean more provincial, noble blood, and not Essex,
Flanagan of the Irish. You think?
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, it might be a pipe dream, but
yeah, you yearn for a better social placement. Oh wow, this is we're tapping into a joke that leans into reality a little bit.
yeah. That's not true though. What I do is I celebrate. I enjoy the various classes and how they interact with each other and what it all means there. I find it very interesting that whenever you're watching British TV or documentaries, there's this undercurrent of social class that's always sort of part of it, and it depends on where somebody's from and how they talk and all this stuff.
But you do always lean towards the stuffy John Cleese and the Great Muppet Caper.
I do.
Yeah, that's whenever you do a British accent, you always do that.
That's not true.
Yeah, no.
I always do my bad Jason Statham, which I've been doing since before I knew who he was.
No, but you always go for the hoity-toity, that you go for that voice, and you don't go for the chavvy Essex type, Camden type.
Oi,
yeah.
You shut your fucking mouth.
Did you?
Can't even.
Did you see?
Can't even start with me.
Did you watch Catastrophe?
Yeah.
Now you're just doing Michael Caine, so stop. The babysitter in Catastrophe. Do that voice.
Well, that's tough.
Right, I know.
That's hard.
That's what I mean.
There's that guy, and then there's you don't watch I'm Alan Partridge, but there's Michael, who's the Geordie. I can't do his accent either.
Anyway, so David Tennant is lovely, but we are not. We can't make a decision because Connor's not here. But I'm going to warn you, Josh, that bringing it up could put your standing in iFanboy in jeopardy. Just having this conversation alone is putting
you're not even supposed to be on the show anymore.
I know.
You're not even technically. I mean,
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
That's where I was going.
I know. He's rebooting it.
Who is? Of course he is.
Yeah.
Like he's doing it again.
Yep.
Same script or like.
No, I don't know what it. I don't know. Let's see what it says. Let's see.
Like all the references would be like Napoleon Dynamite instead of Star Wars, or.
No, let's see. Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Which is sad that he has to reboot. Like, is he casting someone else? Oh, geez. I mean, so it's Jay and Silent Bob head to Hollywood to stop a remake of their Blunt Man and Chronic movie. All right, that's kind of funny.
Is there a movie that happened in Canton? Yeah, because
it stars Chris Hemsworth, Rosario Dawson, Grant Gustin, Joe Manganiello, Jason Lee, Shannon Elizabeth. Where's she been? Justin Long.
I like that kid.
Not Justice.
Not Justin. Oh, Justin Long. That's different than Justice Smith.
Tom Cavanaugh, James Vanderbeek.
Because he had that one great moment in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yep.
I'm here with Jason Biggs. We're naked.
So,
you know what? Like when we started out, I thought that's just terrible. Stop. And then I thought, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back really did make me very happy.
And we
way more than it should have.
We did reference it for far longer than we should have.
I mean,
it's all about the internet chasing down the trolls alone.
Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff in there that was actually like, it's way better than Dogma.
Yeah.
Which should be memorable, but isn't. Mallrats is my favorite forever, but it doesn't age well. I don't think.
I haven't watched any of those movies in forever.
I mean, theoretically,
Clerks probably still stands up.
Clerks probably still stands up, but as a moment, as a testament to a time.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You watch it, and you would be like, "Oh, this is terrible," but it would never. If you release it today, it would just nothing.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it was definitely a moment in time, and if you watch it today, the lo-fi-ness of it is what makes it still timeless because it's not trying to be contemporary. It's like it's of a black and whites, like all that sort of stuff. So
it's really interesting that couldn't. I mean, really, that was the last moment that could have happened. And people always talk about like all the slacker movies or like Reality Bites, and like to me, that was the forerunner of everything that became of pop culture after it.
Well,
like the type of jokes and like all like the way that quote unquote their geek culture is now, like it's all very tied into that sense of humor.
Oh, for sure,
is commonplace now, and it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, the one that started it all was Slacker.
I've never seen Slacker.
Oh, you would hate it. You would hate it.
Why?
Because it's too loose. And I'm getting scoffed at in the room. But yeah, you would hate it. You would hate it. There's your homework assignment. You should watch it.
Because what's the next link letter after that? Is it Dazed and Confused?
That's a big jump. Hang on, let me see.
Yeah. When Slacker come out? 88 or something?
No, like 90, maybe 91.
Well, Dazed and Confused was 93 too.
Richard Linklater, IMDb, director. No one tell
Good Will Hunting 2 was a funny joke.
Let's see. I still liked Everybody Wants Some. Slacker came out in 90, then Dazed and Confused was 93. Yeah. Then Before Sunrise, 95. Then Suburbia, 96.
Never saw that.
That's a run. Dude, that's a run.
He is good. I like Richard Linklater for the most part.
And then the Newton Boys in 98 with McConaughey, Ethan Hawke, Skeet Ulrich, Vincent D'Onofrio.
No one, I didn't see it. No one saw it, but I remember that it was a thing.
Then Waking Life and Tape. Tape was brutal.
I don't think I finished. Was that the rotoscope animation one?
No, that's Waking Life.
Oh, okay. I tried to watch that and couldn't do it.
Tape was the Ethan Hawke. Who's the guy from Dead Poet Society that was on House?
I never watched House. I know who you mean. I can't think of his name though.
He played in A Midsummer's Night Dream. He played Puck or whoever it was. Robert Louis Stevenson. No, what is his name?
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Yes.
Everybody Wants Some is not a good movie.
Yes,
it wasn't bad.
Everybody Wants Some was a fun movie. Sean Patrick fan. Robert Sean Leonard. That's it. Robert Sean Leonard, not Robert.
Wow, there was a couple of Irish three-namers up there real fast.
It was. Robert Sean Leonard, that's who it is. So it's Robert Sean Leonard, Ethan Hawke, and Uma Thurman, and they filmed it in a motel room like in 3 days or something like that. And Ethan Hawke comes back to town. Oh man, what was the plot of it? I saw it when I actually got that DVD from Netflix back in the day. And it was 3 old high school friends meet in a Michigan motel room to dissect painful memories from their past. And like, there's a question of like, was it a rape or was it a not? Like, it was like something
I saw it.
And it was really brutal, if I remember correctly. So
I feel like I saw it.
Linklater, he's had a career.
He has. He got stuck under, the people of his contemporaries, sort of, but he's been making movies all along, and even like the sort of idea of doing all those before, after, sunrise, sunset things. That should have been fairly pathetic, but it was cool. And Boyhood was, I've seen that. I've watched that a couple of times. I think it's pretty good, but it was overblown, but then it was forgotten.
Yeah. Well, if we look at his run, right? So he does Slacker, then he does Dazed and Confused, then Before Sunrise, Suburbia, Newton Boys, Waking Life, Tape, School of Rock, which was like as much of a hit as it comes.
He does that Soderbergh thing.
Yeah.
We'll come up every once in a while, make a movie to pay for the other ones.
Yes.
Or Robert Rodriguez.
So right after School of Rock, he does Before Sunset. Then he does Bad News Bears, which I forgot about.
Not bad though. It's with Billy Bob Thornton, I think.
Yeah. Then Fast Food Nation. Then A Scanner Darkly. Me and Orson Welles. Remember Bernie? Remember that movie?
Yeah, I did. That was good.
Yeah, that was. Movie.
It was. I enjoyed watching it. Never thought of it again.
Then Before Midnight, and then Boyhood. Then Everybody Wants Some, and then Last Flag Flying, which came out 2 years ago, which I saw. That was the one with Stephen Carell and Lawrence Fishburne and the guy from Breaking Bad. It's the sequel to the Jack Nicholson movie. That was Bryan Cranston. That's who it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't like Bryan Cranston.
I don't like Bryan Cranston either.
I never don't see Bryan Cranston.
Right. Thank you.
I don't. I think Breaking Bad was fine, but it was a good show, but I don't like Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, not that I dislike Bryan Cranston. I think he's fine, but you're right. I see Bryan Cranston.
Yeah. So. I don't even not like him. I just don't. It's not a plus or a minus. It's like, it's Bryan Cranston.
So, a question in the chat room from Paul: did anyone see Booksmart? Is the hype justified? I have not seen Booksmart.
I really wanted to,
because it's still in the theaters, or maybe not where you live. But
it was only playing at 5:30 in San Francisco. That's all I know.
Oh, weird. It's got to be streaming soon. But from what I heard, the hype was real about it. Everyone I talked to loved it. I can't wait until it's streaming so I can watch it, because my movie going this year is limited.
You told me a while back, related to this, that you liked mid-90s, and I did not make it all the way through.
Why not?
I don't know. I was with Lindsay, and she was halfway annoyed by it, but I was also like,
here's the thing: you're watching at home, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm especially going from a often theater goer to now a home movie watcher.
Oh, it's easier to bail.
It's easier to bail, but there is a lot to be said for being in a theater and watching it on the screen.
Sure.
Like I just think I think that's a large part of it. I mean, not that I'm one to bail for movies, period, but I think that could do something with it. So.
Well, no, what it was is that I made at least an hour in, and first of all, the kids were a little younger than us.
Yes.
So there was and it was a very different. I was like, well, that wasn't what my life was like.
Well, yeah, it was wrong. I mean, it was LA and it was
right.
Yeah.
But there also wasn't much. Like, I was like, what's the plot? Is this just supposed to feel awkward?
Yeah.
And that was the thing.
Well, if you remember on the All Media show, what I talked about it was that I thought he fell just short of it being meaningful. Like,
okay, I think that's fair.
It felt like he had an idea or a concept in his head, and he wasn't able just to get that last sentence out.
He did a tone poem.
He definitely did a tone poem. Exactly. Definitely did.
And I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, there it is. There was the one shot towards the end when the kid and one of the older kids are skateboarding at dusk and it's playing a Morrissey song from the early 90s. And admittedly, whatever, I'm biased because it's the Morrissey song, but like that one moment I just thought was beautiful. Like he had like composition wise and stuff like that. Sure. He had a couple of beautiful moments from filmmaking standpoint. From a like coming of age movie, he had a couple of definitely relatable moments that happened. Like yes, it's not a one-to-one to your experience or my experience.
No.
But I get it conceptually, but it just fell short of, okay, why am I watching this?
I thought he found some good kid actors. I thought I thought like the kids were pretty good. Question up there, did I see Toy Story 4? I know you haven't, but Ron, why don't you go ahead and spoil the plot?
Does Woody and/or other toys get lost and have to find their way home?
There it is. You found it. They aren't home though. They're in an RV this time.
Oh, it's a moving home. That makes it even more complicated. They raised the stakes this time.
There you go.
So you saw it. You saw it.
I just saw about 2 hours ago.
So I heard that it was what you would expect, but unnecessary.
I mean, if you looked at it as a 3-part and you said that last one really closed it up, yes, but I see a lot of kids movies and it was still much funnier than most of them. So like it was very funny. There was a lot of really funny stuff in it. They don't have to do a lot of work to introduce you to everybody, so you can just go hang out with them. There's a little flashbackiness. They picked up from where the last one left off. And I will say that I do not see a way that they can like do the same kind of movie again. Like the way that it ends, they could do more, but it would be a different thing.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time going, wait, whose voice is that? Wait, who? And I was just on that, and I didn't get
it. That's your problem.
I know, I can't stop. I got all of them except Christina Hendricks. I couldn't figure it out until the very end.
All right. Well, sorry.
It's okay.
So Connor, who can't be with us, is at an undisclosed location apparently watching.
Oh, wow.
And says, Booksmart is in my top 5 of the year so far.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's unsurprising. Yeah. Connor has seen all of the movies. Whichever of the movies came out.
Yeah, I'm sure he has. Yeah. So I'm sorry. There was a almost hurricane on Long Island, and my family is without power. My sister just texted me asking to check the PSEG website for outages, and sure enough, there are power outages.
So you wanted her to confirm that it was not just her house that was without power?
I don't know why she made me check it, but I just had to do that.
Because clearly she knows that she has no power. There was such a storm during Toy Story 2 that I thought, wow, this roof might not make it. It was the loudest. It was a lot. Yeah. And lots of thunder and everything. Because normally, like, you hear it and you're like, oh, is that just the theater next door? That kind of thing.
The rumble. The rumble.
Yeah. No, it was real thunder, much louder and more distinct. There we are. So since we started this off talking about David Tennant, I thought that we could take some time to talk about Good Omens.
Sure.
Did you finish it?
We did finish it. Yes, we
did finish it.
Finished watching Good Omens. We, in fact, since we finished Good Omens several times, the sentence has been made. I wish there was more Good Omens.
I'd say that's fair.
Yeah, I honestly, if that was just an ongoing show about the adventures of Michael Sheen and David Tennant, I would tune in every week.
How couldn't you?
Yeah.
How couldn't you?
So did you read the book?
Yeah, it is my favorite. I know it's co-written by Terry Pratchett, but it's my favorite Neil Gaiman thing. I've read it a couple times.
I would say it's a Terry Pratchett book, not a Neil Gaiman book.
Yeah, I know, but I bought it and read it originally because it was Neil Gaiman, and obviously,
no, I know, but I would.
Dead, so.
I mean, yes, it was co-written and all this stuff like that, but I chalk it up more to Pratchett than I do to Gaiman.
However, if you think about every story that Neil Gaiman wrote for about 20 years, it was about
this. Yeah.
gods on Earth,
yeah,
if they were real people.
Yeah.
So that might have been the thing that came from. And then
what if God walks amongst us?
I know. What if it was Odin? Well, that would be American gods. Okay, cool. So what if it was some kind of, I forget, I've asked Akaniki, I forget what that one was called, but I read that other one.
Yeah, Akaba. So you read the book.
Yep.
And how does it compare to the book?
I mean, it's pretty much spot on. I hadn't read the book in probably 15 years or more. But I was like, it was coming back to me as I watched it, and I was remembering certain things about it. And I thought it was a really good translation. One of those ones where it didn't really make something new out of it, but it did bring something to it, and sort of seeing these people portray the characters and sort of how, like, it was interesting to see how they took ideas in the book that were very, there was a lot of inner monologue in the books that were funny. I remember the thing like the dog. There was a lot about the dog who wanted to be the hellhound, was a tiny little dog, and he was having all these dog thoughts, but he couldn't. And I thought that they actually visualized that really well. I mean, obviously, Michael Sheen and David Tennant.
They're just great.
They're completely delightful.
I mean, it's a shame that neither are American.
It is,
and they would receive their plaque and their trophy. They'd get their GDAT award, but they're not.
we would FedEx that key. Anansi boys, that's it. I think there was no point in Nick Offerman being in it. There was no point in that at all.
Yeah.
John Hamm was pretty good as John Hamm.
It was funny because no. I mean, I know. It was funny because we were talking about John Hamm, and at first, early on, it was saying, I don't really, I don't really like what he's doing, or he's being John Hamm. It's not really bringing anything to it. But by the end of it, he was doing that John Hamm, like, disgusted with you for even being in his presence, John Hamm, which which cracks me up.
Yeah.
Which is definitely a arrow in his quiver, as it were. Sure. It is something he does, but it's just like that face, that annoyed face. Like, it's great. So,
well, I had listened to him on David Tennant's podcast. Did you ever listen to any of that?
No, I haven't. I've heard good things though.
I'll tell you one thing: you won't like David Tennant any less.
Oh, sure.
There's no way you're coming out of that. But
I don't listen to David Tennant's podcast because I think it might be too much David Tennant. Like, I won't be able to handle it. That's how good it would be.
It wouldn't ruin him. It wouldn't be like, oh no, I've gotten through the veil.
I mean, like, I don't mean like it wouldn't be in a bad way. I mean, it'd be too much in a good way.
You want to keep some of the mystery.
Yeah,
that's fair. But he had Hamm on there, and of course, because he basically had anybody I never did anything with that was interesting. And Hamm was just basically like, I don't really chase money. I just do things I want to do. And so every time I think, why is he doing this? I think, I just wanted to do it. And then it makes me like it more.
Even the spy movie?
Since when? Which spy movie?
The one with the guy with the beard, Galifianakis.
Yeah, he probably wanted to do that if it was a comedy.
No, did you see it?
No.
Why not?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I think you need to watch all John Hamm's movies now and tell me if you like them.
I really liked Tag.
I know you've talked a lot about Tag. You talked about Tag so much that I was looking at it on HBO Now, what to watch the other night, and I was like, oh, Tag's here. Josh liked that, and I almost watched it, but I didn't because then I remembered you liked it, and so then I
don't think I've talked about it that much. I feel like I talked about it on the show we did where we talked about movies, and that's about it.
He did what is it? Where is it?
I even watched that.
Keeping Up with the Joneses.
I have no recollection of that.
That's him and Zach Galifianakis and Gal Gadot and Isla Fisher. And so John Hamm and Gal Gadot are secret agents or whatever, and they move in next door to Zach Galifianakis and Isla Fisher, and then wacky things happen.
Okay.
A suburban couple becomes embroiled in an international espionage plot when they discover their seemingly perfect new neighbors are government spies.
And you're coming down on me about Tag, which was delightful. To this movie, no one remembers that. Did you like it?
I didn't see it.
So why are we talking about it?
The billboard was outside my apartment for like 6 months.
Okay.
So, he was good in Baby Driver. I liked him in Baby Driver.
Didn't see Baby Driver.
Yeah.
It came out at the wrong time. I was, I don't want to go see that. I even watched that. There was like a weird BBC thing that John Hamm did with Daniel Radcliffe when they were both like Russian doctors in the.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch that.
I watched all that. It was really good, but it was weird.
Yeah.
It was very strange. Should we? Was there anything about Good Omens that else we need to cover? I think it was pretty good. It was all right. It really doesn't seem like your thing, to be honest with you.
Well, no. I mean,
have you read it?
No, I haven't read it. I can't stand Neil Gaiman. No, I
just said it's not.
No, it's a culmination of sometimes you watch things that not only you in the household want to watch. But also it was no, definitely. I mean, you give me David Tennant, Michael Sheen, I'm right there. That kind of over. Don't give me a look.
You know what's great is how much I think Michael Sheen is great, and how much I didn't really care about him so much with David Tennant there. I was like, yeah, good for him though. Give me more of that guy.
Oh no, I equally I wanted both of them as much as possible. Like I couldn't. It was so much Michael Sheen enjoyment that after watching Good Omens, we watched Frost Nixon.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Oh, so good.
There was a movie where they were both football coaches. Is that true? Maybe it's just Tennant who was a football coach. I forget.
No,
don't look
Sheen.
it up.
It was Sheen. I saw
Tennant
that movie.
Did one too.
I saw that movie. Anyway,
there's also an episode of David Tennant's podcast where he has Michael Sheen on, and
we're just going to recap David Tennant's podcast.
Yes, He talked about the fact that Sheen became very good friends with Neil Gaiman for some reason. I forget. Oh, he was a comic book reader. And so he'd read Sandman, and they were like, he was like a genuine, like, was talking about Vertigo stuff from when it was really good. And I was like, oh, respect. But they became sort of pen pals and talking to each other. And then basically Gaiman had wanted Michael Sheen to play
The Damn United. That was the soccer movie. That was great.
There you go. Yeah. Is that the one that Tennant was in?
Sheen. No, Sheen.
Okay, Tennant's in one too.
Okay.
One of these people will know. Anyway, so Gaiman had wanted him to play the demon, Aziraphale.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I heard this. Yeah.
Right. And then at the last minute, Sheen was like, I don't think I should do it. And he was really worried about telling him. And then he told Gaiman, and Gaiman was like, oh, thank God, I didn't think you should do it either. And then put him in the other role.
And then Tenet was perfect for it. Before we move on to the next Gaiman related bit of ephemera, no, I thought Good Omens was great. 6 episodes, it was perfect. Every now and then it got a little precious or a little Pratchett-y, as we like to call it. But
have you read much Pratchett?
I've read some Pratchett. I know enough.
I've never read any other than this.
No, I know enough that it was very Pratchett. But
it was sort of Douglas Adamsy.
Yeah, and it was exactly. But it was funny because like one of the things that started annoying us was the use of Queen, because it just happened so much. And then I did look it up, and turns out that it was a joke in the book about how any CD after 2 months turns into a Queen's Greatest Hits CD. And that in the book, David Tennant's character, whenever he drove, a Queen song would be playing because he was cursed to listen to Queen all the time, and they couldn't figure out how to make that work in the show. And so what they just did was every time he was driving, they had a Queen song play, and it matches the song from the book. So if you're a book reader, that's a great little Easter egg. If you're a average viewer like me and you're just like, oh, another Queen song. But I will say the unsung hero of Good Omens was Michael McKean.
You're right. He was great. And I kept listening for his accent to break.
Nope.
And it didn't.
He's a professional actor, my friend.
So wait a minute. There was a movie that David Tennant was in called United, which is different than Damned United.
Okay.
And he plays the coach in that.
Cool.
And then The Damned United is a different football movie.
Okay.
That's crazy.
All right. So some people in the chat room were talking about it, but right before the show, Josh texted me, says, hey, check out this news. And Josh, why don't you tell us what that news was?
Well, it would appear that after the internet got Netflix to swear off the fact that they'd made Good Omens, They said they would go ahead and make Sandman with Neil Gaiman. Michael McKean is Canadian, I believe, isn't he?
No, he's American.
Is he?
I don't know if he's G-Dad though. I mean, I love him.
There's a strong case to be made, even if you were just working. Still, you put him then, and then everybody in Spinal Tap you got to look at. And that's
Michael McKean's American. He's 100% American.
He was Canadian.
100% American.
So what I would need to do to tell you more about the fact that Sandman is coming to Netflix would be read the article.
So how do you feel about that?
I mean, like, it's a foregone conclusion that pretty much everything is going to get made into a series of some kind, and that seems like the low-hanging fruit that took a while. What's interesting, I don't know how long they're saying it will be. They tried to turn it into a film, but it's like 9 novels basically. Like, how do you do that?
I wouldn't be. They have to do the first volume.
Heinberg.
Is it Heinberg?
Set to write and show as showrunner.
Jeez.
Goyer.
No, what's so funny was that I finished watching The Flash, and so now I'm catching up trying to finish Arrow. Mm-hmm. And on recent episodes, I've noticed one of the supervising producers is Ben Rabb.
I remember him.
Hated him. Anyway, it's fun.
His work.
He did the Pete Wisdom stuff on Excalibur. No, he picked up the Pete Wisdom stuff after Ellis did it on Excalibur.
Okay.
Anyway,
Netflix and Warner's declined comment as a formal deal has not yet closed. An episode count was not immediately available.
I mean, I would imagine if they do it correctly, they stick to the first trade. Period. It's gonna be like what it's. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like what.
It's not even a good one to start with.
I don't disagree, but I mean, but that's the starting point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to Michael Sheen, I mean, Emmy-deserving star turn on The Good Fight this season.
I've heard that.
I know Connor's
it's not all here. Too much.
Connor's not here to talk about it with me, but it is. Sheen. What's great about Sheen is that he's a chameleon.
Sure.
Right. Like,
yes, a lot of people just would. That's another word. He's an actor.
Right. Yes, I suppose that's a good point. It's a good point.
He's an excellent actor.
So go watch, if you like Michael Sheen, go watch the latest season of The Good Fight because he's amazing.
He does a lot of things.
Yeah. I kind of want to go back and watch The Damn United again. That was good. I enjoyed that.
I recommend you also watch The United.
Okay.
Or just United.
So will you watch Sandman on Netflix? Because you didn't watch any of the Marvel shows. Ahem.
Yeah. I didn't. I don't. But like, here's the thing. I'm not. Every time a good comic book comes out, everybody's always like, "They should make a show or a movie of that." And I'm just like, why? It bothers me. Okay. And it also, there's a lower bar for that material where it can be pretty good. Like, I watched Luke Cage and I enjoyed it, but it's not like I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna watch all these a billion times just because they were comic book characters.
Right.
I don't get as excited about it. Like, I'll watch it if it interests me, basically. Now, you know what? I tried to watch Preacher. I think you did. Like, I made it an episode and a half, and I was like, I can't do it.
I watched, I think, maybe 3 episodes, and I'm like, I'm out. It didn't grab me.
And it doesn't even matter if it's good or bad. I was just like, I don't know why this is. So I'll try to watch it. If it's good, then I will keep watching it. If it isn't, then I will back away. I'll definitely check it out because that's super interesting. That's like one of those. That's like, when the Watchmen show comes out. I don't want that, but I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch The Boys on Amazon, as somebody just and that was a comic that I actually didn't finish reading.
Is that out yet? I feel like that came out, and also Danny directed it, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, I think Danny directed the first episode or several episodes. Okay. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
Did that come out yet?
I don't think it came out yet. Because what happens is, like, they're all their marketing is super sort of hard push with whatever their show is, and they're still pushing Good Omens. I feel
right. I don't think it's come out yet.
I think it's the end of this month.
Is it the end of this month? It is July 26th. Yeah, first episode directed by Dan Trachtenberg.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll watch that for Danny, but not for.
I'll watch it because it's Ennis and Derek Robertson, and I want them.
What's funny about the state of comic book adaptation TV shows, and this ties into the cancellation of Deadly Class, right? There was a time, 5-6 years ago, right, when like not maybe even longer, but a comic book TV show was like I don't want to say we were so lucky and so blessed or whatever, but it was a rarity, right?
And it was special. I'll give you that.
It was more special, so much so that that collectively we watched a lot of them. We did podcasts about them, et cetera, et cetera. Now it is at the point where there are so many TV shows based on comic books that had TV shows adapted from them by creators that I am friends with, that I helped work on the books. I didn't have time to watch. So like Deadly Class, I watched the first episode. I'm like, oh, cool. And then life happened and I haven't been able to watch it. And then I saw it got canceled and I was like, oh, whew, I don't need to watch that. Right. I do want to go back and watch it, but like Happy, I think I watched like half it.
My wife was like, have you heard of this show Happy? And I was like, yeah, it's Grant Morrison and
Derek.
You know, like, and I got shit canned and
yeah.
It's not special, and also it's not like, because it's not special. Like, I mean, like, I didn't love the Happy comic book. Like, it was gorgeous to look at. It was beautiful, but it wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
Just because something was a comic book doesn't mean it's going to make a good TV show, and vice versa. You know,
right.
Or not vice versa, but.
So are you excited for Stumptown then? This fall on ABC?
I'd rather read more comics.
Yeah.
I'd rather read more Stumptown comics. I think that's what it worked. That comic, I'm happy for the people involved. Like, I'm really glad that Matt Southworth's going to catch a break, you know, and hopefully get a little something out of it. But like, that show was a comic book take on a TV show. So turning it back into a TV show is weird. I've been more excited about the Old Guard because apparently that's also happening.
Is that a movie or TV show?
Netflix. It might be a movie, but it's Netflix.
Well, then the Netflix problem also is that can it survive more than 3 seasons?
Well, the Netflix problem is that they've released 12 shows since we started talking, and I've thrown my hands up. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch something I've seen before because I can't.
Right, it's too much. The problem with Netflix is that they put out too much, and what they do put out, they don't market. You literally don't know it exists.
Yeah, right? Unless it falls under your like recommendations that are just constant. You know, like that. Here's what's popular right now, and like, well, what are these things? And then I got to check each one.
I'm looking to see what Netflix is recommending right now because it's just
that. Well, you check each one, and then you're like, well, I have all these 50 other shows that they recommend that I haven't had time to watch yet. You know.
So let's see. They don't even have recommended for me.
They'll have like popular on Netflix or trending or something.
Yeah, no,
like
they have watch it again and then trending now.
Like if all I did was watch those like music documentaries that they recommend to me, that would be all my time.
Yeah.
You know, whatever their series is now, they just did the Robert Johnson one, and there was the Sam Cooke one, and like those.
I mean, the problem is that there's too much content, and there's not even enough time to know what exists and actually connect with anyone and talk about it. Right?
Yes, it's over by the time the other thing comes.
Right, exactly. And people move on so fast and stuff like that. And the thing is, I feel bad because I feel like we've had this conversation several times on these hangouts, and where we like the Umbrella Academy. Like the Umbrella Academy came and went. That. Like that's another one. And there are just so many of them. And it just I've railed against the binge watching topic, all that sort of stuff. But there's just not enough time to watch all this stuff. Like just because you can make the content doesn't mean you should make the content.
This feels like the 90s in comics.
Okay, expand.
Just we're flooding the market with all this stuff that people are supposedly paying for and consuming, but the center cannot hold.
Right.
Like it's all speculators. It's all like, I mean, not in the same sense, but let's just get as much stuff as we can on our platform. But like, how much could there be? Like, we watched all the new Black Mirrors. There's only 3 of them. And then there was their big Always Be My Maybe movie. And then there was, but then under that is 73 other things.
Did you watch Russian Doll?
No.
I really like that.
Lindsay liked it. I thought I'm probably gonna like it, and then the tide of war. I did, however, stop watching Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, I never started.
Oh, see, maybe Connor was watching it or whatever, but like the first season was really interesting and it was good, and the second one was really well made. The third one was like, oh, this is great. I can't watch it. I'm gonna gouge my eyes out. I can't do it.
I just keep watching the last 10 minutes of that John Mulaney stand-up with The Fugitive. I just keep going back and watching that.
I just watched the end of the New in Town one.
Yeah. Here's a funny thing. I'm scrolling through the new releases and I saw Solo and I was like, oh, I'd watch that.
I watched half of it again.
Yeah. Does it hold up?
Huh?
Does it hold up?
I don't know. I stopped watching. I only watched half of it, so I don't know. You know what's funny though is that like if you talk about Stumptown or The Boys or whatever, in a way, I'm more excited to see what the hell this HBO Watchmen show is going to be. Just because I don't know what the fuck that is. At least that's interesting.
So it's a sequel, right? Or no, it takes place after the movie.
I don't know. I think
it takes place after the movie. Or I'm sorry, after the book.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, at least that I'm like, well, that's gonna be bug shit.
That's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
And so, like, then to watch like Stumptown was a comic book version of the Rockford Files, but it's a woman. And like that sounds super boring as TV, you know? Like it.
Wow.
It sounds like every 70s TV show that it was based on.
So not a big
I didn't watch.
Not a big Kobe Smulders fan, huh?
Not really, no.
Wow.
What has she done that's interesting?
Touched a nerve.
No, I just don't like it's a thing. Colby Smulders is gonna okay, she was on a sitcom I didn't watch.
She was in Avengers, man.
Yeah, that was an important role.
She's in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Is she? As Maria Hill?
Yes.
What a useless character.
All right, so I've seen Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh yeah?
And are you going to see it, Josh?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
I hope you do because it is delightful. I'm not spoiling anything. And
no doubt.
Disclaimer, my opinions are my own and they don't reflect the greater Walt Disney Company or Marvel Entertainment. I will tell everyone, and it's already been mentioned, I think, online. You can find this all out, whatever. But and Josh, I'll tell you because it's always good to know this. There are two end credit scenes.
Okay, good.
One takes place after the stylized credits, and one takes place after all the credits. And 100% wait until wait all the way through the credits, because it's an end credit sequence worth waiting for.
I remember sitting in Endgame and thinking, I think I heard somebody say there's nothing in this one, and thinking I just need to ask Ron, but the theater had no signal. And so I was like, and I sat there and I was like 85% sure there was no point in sitting here. I did, however, get up and go to the bathroom while the credits were going, then came back to my friend who was sitting there because I was pretty confident, but not enough to just walk out.
There was none.
Yeah.
Which was great, which is there shouldn't have been.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah. But there are two in Spider-Man, so I strongly recommend everybody stay till the end because it's worth it.
Yep.
So.
All right, that's fine.
But it's fun. We just watched Homecoming on Friday.
I own it.
Homecoming's a blast. I like Homecoming.
Yeah, it is. I got it. I like that movie.
Yeah.
It's everybody's like, well, what's the best Spider-Man movie? I don't even think it's possible to say at this point.
Why is that?
They all have to do with the time. Like in, what was it, 2002? What was the first one?
2001.
Whatever.
Yeah.
When that came out, it was like, wow. You know? Then the second one came out and it's like, wow. And apparently another one came out. But then I even went to see like the middle ones, you know. I only saw the first one, not the second one. You know, and I was like, it was enjoyable. It was Spider-Man. And then, you know, you see Tom Holland in Civil War and that was super fun. Like they all have a different thing in different times. Like you could pick a favorite, but it's not really, you can pick a best. They're just.
Here's the thing. I will say I think Tom Holland is the best of the bunch as far as Spider-Men go. Mm-hmm. I never really jived with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
Because you probably suspected
that he was a jerk.
That he was, yeah, that he was like a horrible human.
Oh man, Molly's Game. Whew.
That ruined. I mean, like he's as ruined as Kevin Spacey at this point. Like I'm just like, oh.
Like that whole story is just heartbreaking.
Oh.
For those who don't know, if you watch the movie Molly's Game, it's based on a book I think called Molly's Game, and Michael Cera plays a character in the movie who is a pastiche, but mainly based on Tobey Maguire, and the real story of what happened with Tobey Maguire in this poker game in LA in the 2000s is just so basically there was a high stakes poker game that happened in hotel rooms around LA, and Tobey Maguire is one of the Hollywood elite that would play in these games, and you know thousands and thousands of dollars in each poker game. and there was I don't want to say degenerate gambler, but someone who is addicted to gambling in the poker game and lost big, lost big, lost big. Tobey Maguire bankrolled him to such a degree that it was like I believe the person committed suicide, like the person killed himself, right?
I mean, he wanted to destroy the person.
He bankrolled them in a deal that basically had it where like Tobey Maguire would give him the money to play in the poker game, and the guy had to give Toby half of his winnings. Like it was some bizarre like thing where it was just a lose-lose. It was like heads I win, tails you lose kind of situation for the player. And he did it because it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sad. Very sad.
He's a sadist. I mean, it was really like horrible.
I will say I agree with Paul in the chat room that I did enjoy Andrew Garfield. I thought he was a little underrated as Spider-Man. I thought he was fun, but yeah. So
I just always expect Mark Zuckerberg to be mean to him. That's who he's Wardo Safran for all time in my mind. I can't get away from it.
I still like The Social Network. We say we will.
I love that movie. I've watched that movie a lot.
It's a great movie. I used to, when I was working from home, I put that on in the background and just
work. All the time. Like it's at the very least, like the dialogue in it is music. It's just I mean, Molly's Game underrated, or at least not.
I don't know.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed without knowing. I didn't even know I didn't look up who people were until after. I didn't know it was like a true story.
Oh yeah, well I knew it was a true story, but I just had a hard time with. I was surprised that Sorkin used narration, which I feel is a bit of a cheat.
But it was a book.
Yeah, but it was a book. Who cares? But it
was a book.
Yeah. So, but Sorkin and Fincher, that's a good combination right there.
It's hard to beat.
Yeah,
it's hard to beat. I mean, everything that Fincher did from Zodiac forward, not counting Benjamin Button, are a bunch of really great movies.
That was Fincher?
Which?
Benjamin
Button?
I didn't know that. Oh, wow. I didn't see the movie. We were talking about Zodiac the other night at work because we were talking about Jake Gyllenhaal, who is in Spider-Man as Quentin Beck. I am a fan of Jake Gyllenhaal.
I can be a fan of Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't know that I like all the things that he chose, but I don't see him and go, it's Bryan Cranston. It's not that.
Right.
I didn't like.
He was good in Zodiac. He
was amazing in Zodiac. There was nothing in Zodiac that wasn't perfect, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Night Stalker movie. That's supposed to be good, though.
Is that the one where he's the film
Nightcrawler?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Oh, you didn't? No.
Because it's one of those like obsessive man descends into the dark of obsession. Just like I've seen. It's once you've seen Taxi Driver, there's not really any point in other movies like that.
Right. Fair.
I think that was some fucking bullshit. I kind of went to film school sentence right there.
It was, and I was like, I let it hang.
Yeah, no, I was like, and I had other things on deck. I was like, Paul Schrader's working out his demons and I was like, oh God, shut up. What's Albert Brooks doing in that movie?
Albert Brooks. I welcome Albert Brooks in any movie.
I know. It's an interesting call.
What movie did we get surprised Albert Brooks in? What was that?
I don't know.
It was a movie. I looked that up now too. I feel like this is just this is the hangout where you just watch me use IMDb.
Well, because does anybody in the chat room have an idea about what movie had a surprise Albert Brooks?
See if you can guess it. But I'm not going to look at
was it the Judd Apatow one where he didn't he show up?
Oh no, I know it. I know what it is. I know the answer. I'll let the chat room guess what the surprise Albert Brooks in the last.
He was in Out of Sight.
Was he in Out of Sight?
I don't know. Out of Sight was a great movie. I haven't seen it in a little while.
I'll tell everybody. Everyone's guessing Out of Sight. No, it's not Out of Sight. Drive.
Oh yeah, he was was he like the boss guy?
Yeah, boss guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Albert Brooks could be a G-Dad. He's quite good. I mean, Defending Your Life is good.
I've tried to watch a lot of those movies from the 70s.
Lost in America is good. All the stuff he did for Saturday Night Live is good.
Yeah, but it's not like
he's an amazing writer.
Sure, but I've tried to watch the 70s movie and I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore.
What? Like what? Because you're like half a millennial.
No, like what's the one?
He was in Broadcast News.
I like him a lot when he shows up, but I'm saying I'm not giving him the G.
I don't know, man. We'll save it because we can't do it until Connor comes back. But between his work on in Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, right? Different audience. To Out of Sight, to Drive, to popping up in places like that, to all the
Those
comedy
cameos. You can't be a GDAT for cameos.
I think au contraire. I think cameo value is a part of being GDAT because that plays into the je ne sais quoi category, which is there's something about him that wants people to have him in their movie.
I mean, yes, but that is, I mean, yes, if you're the person who made the movie,
yeah,
then he's your GDAT, I guess. Like if you're Judd Apatow, totally your guy.
Yeah,
I get that. He doesn't do interviews, and around the time that he was in whichever one of those it was, Judd Apatow edited an entire issue of Esquire, and he did a written interview, or it wasn't written, but like they talked, and it was in Esquire, and I read the whole thing, and he was really funny. That I do remember. Like I don't remember the specifics of it, but it was really funny through that whole thing. Like he was funnier than Apatow, who's not particularly that funny. Yeah. Real Life was the one that I actually didn't finish. The person says it's the best album.
Real Life is great. You should watch Lost in America. You should watch Defending Your Life. Defending Your Life is great.
So. Like it was just like the pacing was very 70s in that sort of like avant-garde 70s way, which was a little.
They made movies differently.
I know that.
Yeah.
I don't have to like it, and it doesn't necessarily make me a Philistine.
You have a short attention span now, millennial.
That's not. What is that? We're gonna start doing that. I've had a short attention span for a long time. Yeah, your brain's just not addled enough. Eventually, like it's not that I have a short; it's that I don't have any memory left. What? Oh, sleep. More sleep.
All right. Well, we got 8 minutes left, so we can take some questions from the audience. And Josh, look at your agenda because we went long on a couple.
We used my agenda. We didn't do any of the thing you were worried we were going to do the whole time.
We're just talking about music.
Yeah, we didn't talk about music at all.
Did you watch that Jawbox clip I sent you?
I haven't. You sent it Friday night. I don't have time to watch that in the week. I was gone for a week. I've been with the kids like every moment.
All right. I don't think I was at that show though, but I could have been. It was like April '95.
Can I ask you a question? This came up, and I don't know. Have you been to the 930 Club? Have you seen shows of the 930 Club?
No.
Interesting.
But also 930 isn't the original 9. It's moved several times.
Right.
That's why I've been to the Black Cat, but I've never been to 930 Club.
Okay. Yeah. I watched Salad Days again.
Yeah.
Hadn't seen it for a little bit, and there was a shot of the outside of it, and it was like a weird storefront. I was like, that looks weird. That's not what it is. Yeah. And then I thought to myself, I wonder if Ron's seen a show, because on one hand, it's an important venue, on two, how many shows are you going to see in DC?
I honestly haven't been to DC that much, and yeah, although I will say I did go to DC, maybe 10, 15 years ago, and I went out with Bill from Jawbox, and we just like, there was some band was playing or whatever. We went to something, and like just casually, he's just like, "Oh, Ron, this is Jay," and I turned, and it was Jay Robbins, and I had a homina moment because the thing about Jay Robbins is, in addition to Jawbox and Burning Airlines, he's produced like every record of our generation. Like he produced, everybody's worked with him. He's like he is like the Don Zienteria of our generation. But then he goes back and was in Government Issue.
Yeah.
Like he goes back way, like people forget that. Like, and so, yeah, Jay Robbins is up there as one in the pantheon. But yeah, so I'm so
glad. He did do a film about CBGBs. It was horrible.
Oh my God. It was horrible.
I didn't finish it. I tried. I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot. And you would think, because Alan Rickman's very good. And I was like, it's interesting to look at, but I had to shut it off.
I saw that in the theater, and I remember laughing out loud. Like, and I will say they did get the layout of the club correct. They rebuilt CBs and did all that, but it was a different. I mean, I don't know. It was really bad. It was just really, really bad. Happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah, happy birthday. Well, not yet though. Save it.
Early birthday. Happy early birthday, Ja'Cory Joe.
Could you even answer the best album of the year? Like, do you buy new records with that kind of?
I used to, not lately. I mean, it would have to be Bob's record.
Yeah, it's good. I've listened to it again. It is good. That camp song's weird.
Yes. It was funny because I didn't get any responses, but I replied to Neesman's thread on Facebook about Bob Mould, and I said I put in a vote to go listen to District Line because I feel me and my friend Scott were talking about that at the Jawbox show, and we were saying how District Line is woefully underrated, and there are some very good songs on that record. I think.
Where I can't even think about where that's from. Like
2006.
What's the cover? I
It's
think
it's like
that might have been my first. That might have been the one you gave me, and I think it is good, but I don't really remember it.
Yeah.
My answer to him, that anybody listening, is because we'll get real fucking niche. The question was, what is the best Bob Mould album in any iteration? And my answer was that you can't answer that. You could if you were there.
Yeah.
But going backwards, like I have to, because we're not old enough, to me, like, Workbook's really good because there's Zen Arcade. And Sugar's really good because there was Workbook and Zen Arcade. And like...
Yeah, no, it's a progression. And I'm totally understand.
Yes.
But it's all about Copper Blue.
That's probably where I ended up.
Yeah.
That's the thing I listened to. A part of it is that it's actually easier to listen to.
Yeah.
I mean, like, some of the Husker Du, like, Zen Arcade's hard. Like, you've got to... It's harsh. It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's not quite pleasing.
Josh, there is a band called Adult Magic that you should listen to. They're quite good. They just put out a new record, and it's called Adult Magic. But it is probably the thing I've been listening to the most this week.
There's no results on Apple Music. Adult,
one word.
One adult, and then magic.
The record came out a couple weeks ago.
Huh. I got nothing.
Well,
you know what I've been listening to? I've been listening to the Smiths a lot lately.
Oh yeah, nice. Which record?
Yeah. I just I put on like Best and whatever, and I think
that's funny. It's there are two types of people in this world. Long pause. The people who listen to the album and people who just listen to, a best of or just give me a collection of songs. And not
part of that was I was on a plane and I couldn't download an album because I was gonna do that, but I couldn't. I wanted to listen to the first one because I listened to Johnny Marr on Turned Out a Punk, and but also I've been going back and I've been listening to them a lot lately for whatever reason. A quick question up there that said, do I hate Vampire Weekend or do I find them enjoyable? I liked Vampire Weekend for a little while. I got kind of bored of it after a bit. But I was listening to Ezra Koenig on Malcolm Gladwell's podcast, which I didn't finish because I got kind of bored of it. But they played a bit of the song, and I was like, I hate everything about this song, but that's a really good melody. Like, it was like I was like, I don't know, I don't like all the stuff, but at the end I was like, it's good though. I had to give it to him. I was like, it's a good song. It's good songwriting.
Another Dave asked, did I ever make it through England Is Mine? I did make it through England Is Mine, and I wish I hadn't because it was not very good.
Is that the one about the bad guy? Like he turns into a punk?
No. It's about
that's This Is England.
This Is England. Yeah, England Is Mine is a about Morrissey's life. Right up until the point where he meets Johnny Marr, it was just dreadfully slow and not good. So
Johnny Marr's story was really interesting. I didn't really know it. Like
what I think is so funny, and we've got 1 minute left. What I think is so funny about the entire Manchester music scene is that there's a couple of epic moments in the history of music, and one of them is the Sex Pistols playing Manchester in 1976 or whatever it is, and that's one of those shows that everybody claims they were at, right? But there was really only 18 people there, but the 18 people that were at that show were Morrissey, Johnny Marr, the people from Joy Division, the people from New Order, the people from Factory Records. That started that whole music scene was that one show, and that's amazing. So yeah,
go watch 24-Hour Party, people.
That's so good.
Yeah.
All right, well, it is 10 o'clock here in New York.
They're asking, are you going to go to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge? You don't have to answer those other things. What's the plan there?
I do get into the parks for free, although they block us out of parks that are going to be popular when Avatar first opened in Animal Kingdom. I couldn't go there, it was blocked out to employees. So Galaxy's Edge is blocked out to employees when it starts, but it will open back up in a few months. I'm planning on going to Galaxy's Edge. I will wait until the crowds and the attention die down. I'll probably also wait until the second ride opens, the Rise of the Resistance. That hasn't opened yet. It's just the Falcon ride. But yeah, I do plan to go, not in the near future. How's that for you?
I also plan to go in probably the more distant future.
Yeah, of course we got to go. It's everyone that I talked to said it's amazing. They got it right. Not that
I could see it. Like I could I went up and I was like, oh, there it is. Wasn't done, but
yeah. So, all right, cool. Well, happy early birthday again, and yes, I would love to take Josh and Connor to Galaxy's Edge with me if I could, but the odds of that happening are slim.
If I could leave my kid, I got a shot.
What would it take for all of us to meet up in Anaheim?
Why do we got to go to Anaheim?
That's where it's currently open.
Oh.
It opens.
Not open in Florida.
It opens in August. So
okay,
but Connor's not going to Florida.
Connor does weird shit.
Oh, before we move on to the music, I do have to say, and after we stop going, here's bonus time. I'm so glad that you have discovered Rocket from the Crypt.
It was really fun. Yeah. I've been. So yeah, again, I listened to that John Reese thing. I didn't know the connection between that and Drive Like Jehu until.
Yeah.
But now I do.
And then you can check out Drive Like Jehu and then Hot Snakes and Welcome to the Church of Reese.
Yes, I've been listening to all those things other than.
It's great. So.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna bid it adieu. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you very much.
All right, have a good night.